Y'all know what's interesting about what we're seeing with Nicki Minaj right now on Twitter? This is not the first time, obviously, that she has been in a public feud or beef or went off the tirades on Twitter or on social media. But what's interesting is the fact that people are saying that she's lost it, it must be drugs, etc. But like, if you follow Nicki Minaj's career in regards to her art and the imagery and also her lyricism, everything that she's doing right now, she's already shown us what really is happening, like internally with her. And I mean like mind, body, spirit. Because if you follow her art, it is always shown in alignment with demon possession. It's pretty undeniable that Nicki Minaj has like a insane ability with wordplay and also just like overall lyricism in her art and how she curates music. But also what I find interesting is the fact that people are not putting two and two together, that a lot of these individuals who have amassed so much fame through their talent, their musical talent, a lot of these individuals have to tap in to like higher vibrations to be able to kind of like get the flow on these type of frequencies that they're rapping on. And what happens over time, because they can't always tap into that organically, that's when they have to start kind of, taking any like external types of like substances for them to be able to connect, like whether that's like alcohol, because they call them wine and spirits for a reason, or things like the green, which it's taking you higher. So all of these things are connecting you and opening you up for all of these different types of things that are beyond the veil to come in to you. And what the issue with that is that while you can make some really great worldly music that is timeless, people rave about, it goes stupid viral, streams, Grammys, all the things, all like the worldly accolades that come with it. But over time, as you continue not only to do those substances, but then also to commit like all of these like really debaucherous types of like behaviors and sins, what happens is when you continue to open yourself up, you're just continually just like you're basically just like filling up with demons. And that also is correlates with trauma as well. And we also know that Nicki has spoken about the different types of trauma she has faced in childhood. And I can only imagine the type of trauma she has dealt with just as a woman in a very male dominated industry, and an industry in music that's hip hop specifically, because hip hop is honestly rooted in a lot of trauma and in a lot of just like expletive, just type of themes in general. So now it's like 15 years later into her career, and we're just starting to see, I mean, just starting, like honestly, she's been kind of spiraling for the last like 8 years, but we're seeing those the cracks in the veneer really starting to expand. And Twitter specifically, or X, it is a platform that literally is a playground for demons, because it's basically a way for when people have like those thoughts that just come to those into your mind, whether that's like invasive thoughts or intrusive thoughts, etc. And people just kind of type them, they just kind of tweet them out. And we see how these like demons kind of have their own stage on these type of platforms. And also with that, when we're talking about Nicki specifically, it's interesting because she always wants to talk about things like witchcraft and like there these different types of like conspiracies to bring her down. And I'm not going to sit here and say that there hasn't been certain types of things behind the scenes and corporations to try to like take her down a peg, but I am going to say that there's a lot of things in regards to that's happened to Nicki Minaj that has been her own doing, her own undoing, and things that she's brought on herself, because she has constantly been opening herself up to all of this different types of like entities that enter her body. We look at things like when she talks about Roman, Harajuku Barbie, Red Ruby, Martha, all these different types of personas, and we just look at it as like creativity, and that can be an extension of that. But over time, and especially as what we're seeing over the last few days, and how she's been like absolutely going off of the rails and seemingly tweeting things that really don't make a lot of sense. We're seeing how there's like legions of these different types of demons and these traumas that have just built up over time, and she can't control them and harness them in a creative way. She's completely chaotic at this point. And it's also interesting too, if you all started to see individuals who have come on here to speak about weed-induced psychosis. And this is not to say that anyone in particular has been smoking weed, but I'm just saying the correlation, what a lot of them are talking about, there's a lot of psychiatric nurses on here that are saying that they see so many younger people and millennials who are in these psych hospitals from weed-induced psychosis. And it's because you're ingesting these different types of substances that are altering your mind. They're opening you up to all of these different types of things because the veil is thinning, the veil is lifting. And that means all of these other different types of forces beyond the veil, they're penetrating this world, and they need a host. They need the vessel. But again, they talk about this even in demonology. We see this in movies all the time. Like things like vampires and demons, stuff like that. You have to give them authority to be able to enter your home or into your being. So when you're constantly doing all the drinking and you're doing the smoking, you're doing all the drugs, you're doing all the sex, you are giving it legal right to enter into you. And I feel like that's what we're seeing right now on like a spiritual level. But what's crazy about it with Nicki specifically, she has shown us this through her art for years. So I'm not shocked that it's caught up to her and she's seemingly crashing out. This is an individual that is way over her head, and she's been around a lot of enablers, and I feel like she's also been around a lot of individuals who have also contributed to our trauma. I'm very interested to see how this is really going to end for her, because the types of tweets and stuff that she's been putting out, it's very aligned with someone who's about to be on like a conservatorship type of level. Only prayers for her.